thoughts on the trickle-down effect it could have on the sector?
Oh, I mean, look, memory capacity in particular is very, very tight right now. We need a lot of it, and the fact that they're building, I think, would be great. They're all adding, right? I mean, we've seen memory prices explode to the upside. We're seeing, I mean, these guys are all driving a 90% gross margin, something it's something that we haven't ever seen before. AI demand is just exploding. It's driving tons of demand for everything that they're making, and they need to add capacity. They're building the clean rooms, and then they'll be building out that manufacturing capacity over the next several years. And look, I'm happy to see Micron building it in the U.S., building it elsewhere. Like at this point, I don't really care. Like we need everything that they can bring to the market right now, probably.
Yeah,
and clearly it benefits. You mentioned a number of the semi-cap players, Applied Materials and the like. I mean, clearly, to build out that capacity, they need the tools. And frankly, everything we're seeing in AI right now, personally, I think it sort of translates to more chips, more wafers, more tools. And semi-cap clearly has caught a pretty big bid on that theme over the last year to date, as investors start to look for this capacity to come online.
Yeah, the AI ecosystem is growing. You have memory players like Micron putting more money to work, but so are the hyperscalers. Meta now designing its own AI chip. How much competition could this new chip introduce to the likes of NVIDIA?
Well, so we've known that this is coming from Meta. In fact, as I cover Broadcom, for example, they're working with Broadcom in these chips, and Broadcom's talked about multiple generations with Meta, and they're going to start ramping Meta. I mean, even Broadcom said in a pretty big way into next year and beyond. So I'm actually happy finally to see the chips announced. That's always a good first step. But it should be coming, and it should be material. I mean, even Broadcom's talked about not just Meta, but they talked about $100 billion plus in AI revenues just for themselves next year on the back of these types of custom chips and other things. In terms of competition, I mean, yes, there's competition in the sense that NVIDIA had the entire pie, and other players are going from something to nothing, and some of them could get reasonably sizable. But you have to remember, the pie is getting bigger as well, and getting massively bigger. And I've probably said this on the show before, but my own opinion is I don't really worry so much about competition, who's winning or losing right now. This is semiconductors. There's always competition. It's imperative on you to try to stay ahead of everybody else. But at the end of the day, the question really should be, is it still big or is it not? I think if it's still big, everybody can thrive. If it's not, like, everybody's in a lot of trouble. You can look at the numbers, though. I mean, NVIDIA will probably do $500 billion in data center revenue next year. Broadcom said they'll do, $1 billion plus. AMD might do 40 plus. So even Qualcomm said they'll do 5. Right? Everybody's doing fine. Like, everybody's like growing a ton. And I think if you were to calculate the percentage market shares, I'm not even convinced that they're moving all that much. Like, everybody right now is pretty much selling everything that they can make. As AI, gets bigger and bigger and bigger and kind of drags everything along with it.
If we're riding this wave of intense innovation, then, Stacy, where are we on the discussion about depreciation schedules for the hyperscalers and some of the neoclouds?
Yeah, this was like the Michael Burry bear case, and
it's exactly the post I was just reading.
Sure, I didn't know there was another post. I mean, fine. Yeah, I mean, there was this view that, like, oh my God, they're using 5-year depreciation, and oh crap, they disintegrate after 3 years, which is not true. And we've done some work on this. You can look at, for example, the rental prices of GPUs that are 5 years older or even more, and the rental prices are still very, very healthy. Demand is very, very strong. I mean, some of these guys they've got like 5-year contracts that are rolling off, and they're re-signing those contracts at even higher rates than they were on before. Again, I think this is a function of demand, right? Demand is so strong right now that they need every bit of compute capacity that is available. And even those older products are getting fully utilized, and they still work, and they can clearly still be deployed and monetized at attractive levels. Again, I think if the demand were to roll off to the point where we don't need that older capacity, then we would have problems, but we have bigger problems in that scenario anyways. I am not worried about GPU